Margaret, 68, did everything right, or so she thought. Every morning, like clockwork, she made her eggs. Scrambled on Mondays, boiled on Tuesdays, sunny side up on Sundays. She believed they kept her strong, sharp, and energized. Eggs were her healthy habit. But just weeks after her 69th birthday, she collapsed in her kitchen. Fever, chills, confusion. Rushed to the ER, hooked to IVs, barely able to speak. The diagnosis? Severe salmonella sepsis. The source? Her daily eggs. Not because eggs are bad, but because she made silent mistakes most people over 60 make without knowing. Runny yolks, a scratched non-stick pan, a simple habit of rinsing eggs at the sink. These seem harmless, but for seniors, they can quietly turn deadly. And that's the terrifying part no one talks about. Behind every eggshell are hidden risks that the food industry rarely warns you about. Risks that don't just ruin your breakfast, but can steal your strength, your independence, even your life. In this video, I'll walk you through the 7 most dangerous egg mistakes, ranked from number 7 to number 1. The 4th one? It silently doubles your risk of heart issues, and you've probably been doing it for years. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to arm you with clarity, truth, and real solutions. Watch until the end, because one of these mistakes could be hiding in your own kitchen, and the last one might just save your life. Let me be clear, eggs are not the enemy. They're one of nature's most complete foods, packed with protein, essential vitamins, and brain-boosting nutrients like choline and lutein. For older adults, they support muscle strength, protect your vision, and keep your memory sharp. But here's what no one tells you. After 60, your body doesn't protect you the same way it did at 30 or 40. Your stomach acid weakens, your immune response slows down, and digestion becomes more fragile. That means the same egg you handled casually in your 40s can now become a serious health hazard if you're not careful. And worse, decades of half-truths and outdated advice, like skip the yolk or wash your eggs before storing, have pushed seniors into habits that quietly undermine their health. I've seen it too many times. Good people with good intentions falling into silent traps because the rules have changed and no one updated them. So today, we're not just listing dangers, we're breaking myths, and I'll guide you step by step through each one. By the end of this, you won't fear eggs, you'll respect them, and more importantly, you'll know exactly how to make them work for you, not against you. Let's start with mistake number 7, a breakfast habit that looks picture perfect, but could land you in the ER overnight. Mistake number 7, eating runny yolks with a weakened immune system. Margaret wasn't reckless. She was thoughtful, careful, even proud of how she ate. Her favorite ritual? A soft-boiled egg every morning. She loved dipping toast into the warm golden yolk. It made her feel comforted, even nostalgic. It reminded her of her mother. But one morning, her comfort turned into chaos. She woke up with chills. Her body ached. She couldn't keep water down. Hours later, she was in the ER. Hooked to fluids, heart racing, dangerously dehydrated. The culprit? A runny yolk. See, runny eggs aren't just undercooked, they're underdefended. Inside that soft center could be Salmonella enteritis, a dangerous bacteria that infects the egg before the shell even forms. In younger adults, that might mean an upset stomach. But for seniors, it can become sepsis, bacteria entering your bloodstream. A quiet infection turns deadly fast when your immune system isn't what it used to be. And here's the shocking part. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it. The egg looks perfect, but it's a gamble. The science is clear. Salmonella dies at 160 degrees, 71 degrees. But soft yolks rarely reach that temperature, so each bite is a silent risk, especially when your stomach acid, your body's natural defense, is already weaker with age. The solution? Cook eggs until the yolk is firm. Scrambled, hard-boiled, or fried thoroughly. If you must have runny eggs, only use pasteurized eggs. They're heated during processing to kill bacteria without cooking the egg. It may look beautiful on your plate, but a runny yolk for someone over 60? It's not breakfast, it's a time bomb. Ready for mistake number 6? It happens before you even crack the shell, right in your fridge. Mistake number 6. Storing eggs near strong-smelling foods. Betty, 76, kept a tidy fridge. Everything had its place. Eggs, top shelf, right above her chopped onions and leftover salmon. One morning, she cracked 2 eggs into a pan for her usual omelet. She wrinkled her nose. Smells like fish? Or onion? But she shrugged it off and ate them anyway. 2 days later, Betty was in the hospital, nauseous, weak, dehydrated. The culprit? Her eggs. Not expired, not cracked, just stored in the wrong place. Here's the truth most people don't know. Eggshells aren't solid. They're porous, tiny holes up to 17,000 on each shell. That means smells, gases, and even moisture from nearby foods can pass straight through the shell into the egg. So if you store eggs next to garlic, onions, fish, or strong cheeses, it's not just about flavor contamination. Those odors can carry bacteria-laden moisture that seeps in and makes the egg unsafe from the inside out. A 2016 Journal of Food Protection study found that eggs stored near raw fish absorbed harmful compounds and grew more bacteria within days. For seniors whose immune defenses are already fragile, that's a direct risk. And there's more. Sulfur compounds from foods like garlic or onion can break down nutrients in the egg, especially lutein and vitamin A, which are crucial for senior eye and brain health. So what should you do? Always keep eggs in their original carton. It acts as a protective shield. Store them in the coldest part of the fridge, not on the door where temperatures fluctuate. Keep them away from strong-smelling foods, especially raw meats or leftovers. What seems harmless, a bit of onion nearby, can silently strip your eggs of nutrients. Or worse, turn them into a health threat. Mistake number 5. Reheating boiled eggs in the microwave. Harold, 72, loved routine. He'd boil a dozen eggs on Sunday, store them in the fridge, and reheat one each morning. Quick, easy, efficient. Until one morning, it exploded. He popped a peeled boiled egg into the microwave, set the timer for 20 seconds, then took a bite. Boom! It burst in his mouth like a firecracker. Scalding hot yolk burned his lips, tongue, and inner cheek. He couldn't speak properly for days and had to eat through a straw for over a week. Sound extreme? It's not rare. Why it happens? Boiled eggs contain moisture trapped inside their solid white and yolk. When microwaved, that water turns to superheated steam, building pressure inside the egg. But unlike soup or pasta, the pressure can't escape. The result? Explosions in your hand, on your plate, or worse, inside your mouth. A 2017 Journal of Food Science study showed reheated boiled eggs can reach internal steam pressure high enough to rupture the yolk violently, even seconds after removing from the microwave. For older adults with thinner skin, slower reflexes, and a higher risk of infection from burns, this turns a simple habit into a serious hazard. And that's not all. Microwaving eggs can also alter their protein structure, making them rubbery and harder to digest. Bad news for seniors already struggling with low stomach acid and poor absorption. So what's the safe solution? Never microwave whole-boiled eggs. If you want them warm, gently slice and reheat in a pan over low heat, or place the peeled egg in hot water for a few minutes. It might take a few extra minutes, but it could save your lips, your stomach, or your emergency bill. Mistake number 4. Washing eggs before storing them. Ellen, 74, was careful, almost to a fault. When she came home from the grocery store, she'd always wash her eggs. "You never know where they've been," she'd say. She rinsed them gently under warm water, dried them, and tucked them neatly into her fridge. A week later, she made scrambled eggs for herself and her husband. The next morning, violent stomach cramps, nausea, sweating, 2 ER visits. The lab test pointed to one culprit: bacteria inside the eggs. And the sad part? It all started with Ellen's good intentions. Here's the truth. Eggs come with a natural outer coating called the bloom, or cuticle. This invisible layer protects the inside of the egg by sealing the pores on the shell, keeping out moisture and bacteria. But when you rinse or wash eggs, especially under warm water, you strip away that protective layer. Suddenly, those 17,000 microscopic pores are wide open. Moisture and bacteria from your hands, sponge, or sink can now seep inside and multiply. A 2011 poultry science study found that washed eggs were 10 times more likely to be contaminated with salmonella compared to unwashed eggs. And for seniors who are more vulnerable to foodborne illness, that's not just risky, it's dangerous. What should you do instead? Never wash eggs before storing them. Keep them in their original carton to protect from odor, moisture, and fridge bacteria. If they're visibly dirty, wipe them gently right before cooking, not before refrigeration. And remember, always store eggs in the coldest part of the fridge, not the door. Ellen thought she was being cautious, but her cleaning stripped away nature's built-in defense. Sometimes trying to be safe can accidentally open the door to danger. Mistake number 3. Cooking eggs in scratched Teflon pans. Doris, 68, loved her old frying pan. It was a wedding gift. Non-stick, black, familiar. She used it almost every morning to fry her eggs. A few scratches, sure, but it still worked. Why replace it? Over time, Doris began to feel off, constant fatigue, brain fog. Her thyroid levels were out of balance. Her doctor couldn't find a clear answer. Then came the real shock. Blood tests showed high levels of PFAS, a toxic chemical linked to hormone disruption, immune suppression, and even cancer. And it all traced back to that scratched non-stick pan. Here's what most people don't realize. Teflon, the material in most non-stick cookware, is safe only when intact. But once scratched, it can leach harmful chemicals, like PFAS, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, directly into your food. A 2020 study in environmental science and technology found that scratched or overheated Teflon pans can release billions of microplastic-like particles into a single meal. For seniors, that's even more dangerous. Why? Because aging livers and kidneys are slower to detoxify these chemicals. So every breakfast egg, cooked in that scratched pan, may be quietly adding toxins your body can't easily remove. And it doesn't stop there. Heating non-stick pans above 500 degrees to 60 degrees C, even without scratching, can release fumes that cause Teflon flu, headaches, nausea, even breathing issues. The fix is simple but essential. If your non-stick pan is scratched, even slightly, throw it out. Replace it with stainless steel, cast iron, or ceramic pans. Never preheat an empty pan, and avoid metal utensils that can scratch the surface. Doris thought a few scratches didn't matter, but for her, it meant years of toxin buildup. Don't let a trusted old pan become a hidden health risk. Mistake number 2, eating only egg whites and throwing away the real medicine. Linda, 70, thought she was being heart smart. For decades, she skipped the yolks. Too much cholesterol, she'd heard, so every morning she made her egg white omelet. No butter, no yolk, just pure protein. At first, she felt good about it, clean, disciplined. But over time, Linda began to notice things slipping. Her memory got fuzzy. She started forgetting names, appointments, conversations. Her eyes tired more easily while reading. She needed brighter light to see clearly. Then came the diagnosis: early macular degeneration and choline deficiency, 2 conditions that could have been delayed or even prevented by something she'd been throwing away every morning. The yolk. It turns out the yolk isn't just safe for most seniors, it's essential. That golden center holds over 90% of the egg's nutrition: vitamin D for bones, choline for memory, lutein and zeaxanthin for eye health, omega-3 fats for the heart and brain. A 2017 Journal of Nutrition study found that seniors who ate whole eggs had 30% higher levels of choline and lutein than those who only ate whites. And these nutrients aren't optional. They're critical for aging well. Choline builds acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter your brain uses to store and retrieve memories. Lutein and zeaxanthin protect your eyes from blue light and slow macular degeneration. When you toss the yolk, you keep the protein, but lose the medicine. And what about cholesterol? The latest science, including a 2018 review from the American Heart Association, confirms For most older adults, one whole egg per day does not raise heart disease risk. The real danger is in missing the protection the yolk offers. The better path? Enjoy whole eggs, unless your doctor says otherwise. If you need to cut back, try one whole egg plus one egg white instead of two whites. Choose quality eggs, organic, pasture-raised, or omega-3 enriched when possible. Linda meant well, but her healthy habits starved her body of exactly what it needed to stay sharp and strong. Don't let fear steal your nutrients. Now, it's time for the final and most dangerous mistake. The one that has sent more seniors to the hospital than all the others combined. Mistake number 1, ignoring expired or cracked eggs. Henry, 73, hated waste. He grew up in a time when food was precious, and you didn't throw things out unless they were really bad. So when he found a cracked egg in the carton, or one that had gone a few days past its expiration, he'd shrug and say, "It still looks fine." Until one day it wasn't. He woke up dizzy, couldn't keep water down. By the time he reached the hospital, his kidneys were under stress from dehydration, and he was diagnosed with septicemia from contaminated eggs. What he thought was a harmless shortcut nearly cost him his life. Here's what happened at the microscopic level. An eggshell is your only real line of defense. It's covered in the cuticle, a natural seal that blocks bacteria from entering through the shell's 17,000 tiny pores. But the moment that shell cracks, even slightly, or the egg sits too long and the cuticle begins to break down, that protective barrier is gone. Now, bacteria like Salmonella, enteritis, and E. coli can enter, multiply, and turn your egg into a bacterial bomb. A 2019 study in food control found that expired eggs had 3 times higher bacterial growth than fresh ones, and cracked eggs were the most dangerous of all. For seniors, the danger is compounded. Weakened stomach acid means less natural protection. Slower immune response makes infections spread faster. Dehydration from food poisoning can cause heart arrhythmias, kidney damage, even death. So what can you do? Always check the expiration date on your carton. Use the float test. Place the egg in a glass of water. If it sinks and lays flat, it's fresh. If it floats, it's gone bad. Discard any egg with even a hairline crack. Don't risk it. Henry thought he was being smart with his food, but one egg, just one, was enough to send him to the hospital. For you, the cost of caution is a few cents. The cost of ignoring the risk, far, far greater. Now let's bring all of this together into a daily plan you can use starting tomorrow morning. Now that you know the 7 hidden mistakes, you might be wondering, what do I actually do with this information? So let's turn awareness into action. I'll walk you through a simple, safe daily egg routine that protects your health while keeping breakfast nourishing and enjoyable. Morning routine, strong start. Choose your eggs wisely. Look for pasture-raised or organic if possible. Always check the expiration date. Inspect the shell. No cracks, no slime, no foul odor. If in doubt, use the float test. Fresh eggs sink. Cook them fully. Boil for at least 9 minutes. Scramble until yolks are firm, or fry until both white and yolk are fully set. Avoid runny yolks unless you're using pasteurized eggs. Cooking tools, safe and clean. Use scratch-free cookware, preferably stainless steel, ceramic, or seasoned cast iron. Never use damaged non-stick pans, and don't preheat empty pans at high heat. Always clean surfaces and utensils before and after handling eggs. Storage rules, fridge smart habits. Keep eggs in their original carton, which protects from odors and keeps temperature stable. Place them in the coldest part of the fridge, not the door. Keep them away from strong-smelling foods like onions, garlic, and fish. What not to do? Don't wash eggs before storing. Don't microwave whole-boiled eggs. Don't eat expired or cracked eggs ever. Bonus tip: combine eggs with antioxidant-rich vegetables like spinach, tomatoes, or bell peppers. This not only boosts nutrient absorption, but adds flavor and fiber. Remember, your body has changed, but your food can adapt. With just a few mindful shifts, eggs can go from a potential danger to one of your best allies for energy, clarity, and strength. I'm 91 years old. I've treated thousands of patients over the years, many of them smart, caring, and cautious, who still ended up in hospital beds simply because they didn't know what you now do. They didn't know a runny yolk could carry bacteria their body couldn't fight. They didn't know that rinsing eggs or using an old pan could quietly poison them. They didn't know that skipping the yolk meant skipping the nutrients their brain and eyes were starving for. But now you know, and knowledge, if you act on it, becomes power. The kind of power that protects your independence, your memory, your life. So here's what I ask. Take 5 minutes a day. That's all it takes to check your eggs, use the right pan, store them safely, and cook them with care. Share this video with someone you love, because your story might be the wake-up call that keeps them healthy. Comment below. Which mistake shocked you the most? Which one have you made without realizing? I'm reading every one, because this is not just a video. It's a conversation that could save lives. And finally, if no one has told you this lately, you matter. Your health matters. Your presence at the breakfast table tomorrow matters. Thank you for watching. Stay sharp, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll uncover more hidden health traps and turn them into tools for living longer, better, and freer.